What is the number one rule of thumb when fishing a jerkbait, which, by the way, is absolutely a great bait to be fishing right now? Good morning, guys and girls. March 30, reading from the Catch of the Day book on the Catch a Better Life channel on YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel if you're a YouTube person. It's called Catch a Better Life. We've got three YouTube channels. Subscribe to all of them. But this is the most important one, Catch a Better Life, because God will see to it that if you spend a little time with Him, just one scripture a day, He will cause your life to become better. He will cause your life to become better. He will favor you. Today we're looking at Psalms 37:7. Wait and trust the Lord. Well, that's pretty simple. Wait and trust the Lord. Got something to do with patience. Here's what I wrote about that. I won a bass and race tournament at Disney World in Orlando. Bass and race is where we're fishing with NASCAR drivers, professional fishermen fishing with NASCAR drivers. I teamed up with the great Bobby Allison. Bobby Allison, great NASCAR legend. Bobby was a terrific fisherman, especially with plastic worms, which is what we caught our fish on midway through that tournament morning. But earlier that day, early in the morning, they were tearing up a popper, a topwater popping bait. But they were usually missing the bait on the first strike and not getting hooked until the second or third bites. So if you set the hook when they blew up on it, 19 times out of 20 you missed them. You had to let them blow up on it and wait and let them blow up on it again in order to catch them. You couldn't set the hook on the blow up, which is what Bobby was doing that morning, and he was missing big fish after big fish after big fish. When the bass blew up on it, he would set the hook and miss them. And I'm talking about blow-ups was like dropping a 20 horsepower Mercury motor out of an airplane. That's how big the blow-ups were. But he made up later for the day for it with the plastic worms, and we caught our limit that day. I caught a couple, 2 or 3 big ones that morning on that topwater bait, and then we finished out our limits that afternoon on plastic worms. We won the tournament. Now, we didn't win any giant amount of money. We won $10,000, which $10,000 is a lot of money to me, I got to tell you. We won the tournament. We also caught big bass. That big bass came on that popping bait. We all get impatient. And that's what Bobby was doing in setting that hook when the fish blew up on it. He's getting impatient. We all get impatient with God at times. When you know what a powerful God that He really is, you come to expect miracles from Him all the time. And that's what I do. I can't wait to see what God's going to be doing next in my life. I expect miracles from God every single day. I'm expecting and believing that God is going to heal my beautiful Chris, and she'll be walking one day. Now, we're getting really close to April 4, which will be the 4-year anniversary of when she had that stroke. So God is taking His time, but we got to be patient because we are on His timetable. Whatever we are doing, however we are acting, whatever we're praying for, whatever miracle we are expecting, we're on God's timetable, not ours. Just like those fish, you set the hook when they first blew up on them, you wasn't going to catch them. Their timetable was to blow up on that thing, turn around, come back, and then hit it again the second time. That's when you caught them. We are on God's timetable. If you're expecting a miracle in your life, I'm expecting a big one with Chris. The doctor said she would never walk again, but the doctor also said she probably would not ever leave that hospital alive. God's already created that miracle. He's already done that miracle. He kept her alive. And that's all I asked God to do. When I prayed for 646 straight miles, when I prayed constantly, solidly to my God for 646 miles, I just kept asking Him, God, keep her alive. Keep her alive. And He has. And He has. Now I've asked Him to let her walk as well. Didn't ask Him to let her walk that 646 miles, just keep her alive. His timetable was to cure and let her leave that hospital alive. Not walk out of that hospital, but I still believe that God's going to let her walk. It's all on His timetable, and He's the only one that has the power to do it. We just need to be patient. We're working on His timetable. Here's our tip for today. Talking about a jerkbait. The number one rule of thumb, for me anyway, in fishing a jerkbait, is the longer you pause a jerkbait between jerks, the longer you pause it, the more strikes you generally get. And generally the larger fish you catch as well. So when you're working a jerkbait this time of the year, jerk that thing down, stop. About the time you start to jerk it again, don't. Let it sit there. The longer you let it sit there, the more strikes you're going to get this time of the year. Particularly with a lot of bass that are roaming around either pre-spawn or they're roaming around right before they go up on the bed to spawn. They'll look at that bait, they'll run out there and look at it. The longer it sits there, the more tempting it becomes to them. Then usually when you wiggle it again just a little bit, that's when they grab it. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. Fish lucky. And remember, I sure do love you.